All right, we will get started. Anybody who's not here can just watch the video online or they can catch up along the way. Good morning, all of you. I want to thank you all for coming. I'm very glad that we had such a nice turnout. I'm looking forward to going through everything with you guys. Today we are going to go over three specific things. Well, more than three, but three specific things. How our bodies break down as we age, how we can counteract it, and then a special offer that I'm going to extend to all of you for our new Strong for Life program. Along the way, if you guys do have questions, just write them down because at the end, we'll wrap it up and I'll take questions from everybody, okay? So along the way, when you do have questions, just jot them down. If you guys have notes, jot them down. Use that paper that you guys have appropriately, okay? So we are going to get started with some statistics. 1 in 4, or 25%. 25% of all people over the age of 65 will have a fall this year. As we age, those falls become more detrimental, can lead to broken bones, maybe even more severe at times. Now, as we age, why is it that we fall or we become more unstable? Because as we age, we go through two separate processes happen as we age. First, sarcopenia. Second, osteopenia. Now, when we look at both of these words, we see they have the same ending, penia. That means to waste away or to quote unquote die. Sarco, that first part means muscle. Osteo means bone. So a lot of you in here are familiar with osteopenia, osteoporosis, etc. Sarcopenia occurs even earlier in our body. Once we reach age 30, every decade after that, we have a 3 to 5% muscle loss in our body. So somebody who's 50 years old has between 6 and 10% muscle loss from what they had when they were 30 years old. Now, osteopenia is the breakdown of bone mineral density. Not osteoporosis, but the breakdown of the initial bone density. Once we reach the age of 50, the percentage of women who have osteopenia, percentage of that is 51.5%. The percentage of males, over 40%. So when we put the two of these together, sarcopenia and osteopenia, the average 50-year-old person has more than a 50% or more than a 40% chance that they have some kind of bone breakdown and close to 10% of muscle wasting as they've aged in the last 15, 20 years. Now, we all know that this doesn't happen just in that time frame, that from once we turn 30, it doesn't start at that moment. It starts from our spines being fully developed when we're 18, 19 years old. There are things that we can do to counteract this as we age. Now, when we talk about those things, does anybody have any idea how we can counteract either sarcopenia or osteopenia? Does anybody have anything to add?
Weight resistance, boring.
Perfect. Things that are boring to Alex.
Well, I have to do them just for that, yeah.
Counteract. As Alex said, strength training, resistance training, body weight, walking, jogging. Most every physical activity that we do is going to help counteract one of these as we age. Now, the easiest way we can think of counteracting osteopenia and sarcopenia is healthy stress on our bones. Now, what that means, loading our bones and our muscles will make them stronger. As you run, jog, play tennis, lift weights, resistance train, we know that the bones are going to become more dense, not break down as easily. Our muscles are going to not only get bigger, but they're going to be stronger and more resilient. So we know that how we can put healthy stress through our body. Resistance training, body weight exercise, walking, hiking, jogging. Now, there are recommendations from the The ACSM, or the American College of Sports Medicine. These recommendations have been established by them for the last 20, 30 years. All of the recommendations come directly from something that we can do to counteract what we've been discussing. Now, ACSM has recommendations of moderate and vigorous aerobic activity. Aerobic means walking, jogging, and then they also have a vigorous lifting or anaerobic method as well. Now, starting with our moderate, 30 minutes, 5 times a week. So 150 minutes throughout our week. Could that also look 50 minutes 3 times a week? Yes. Getting towards that 150-minute threshold is what becomes important. Now, when we consider, or what ACSM, considers moderate is just a walk. A brisk walk, you're not going too fast. You should be able to talk, but not sing. Now, moving on to what they consider vigorous activity. We can see time is lessened and frequency is lessened because when we are doing vigorous activity, seen as a jog, playing tennis, sprinting, going for a hike, doing that next level beyond just having a walk. The guideline here is that you should be able to breathe, but not out of breath. It should be challenging to breathe, but not out of breath. So this top is moderate. Bottom is vigorous. Now, the final one that we're going to spend the most amount of time on because it's the most important and ties it all to the program that we are going to start here at Clairpointe. Now, with the lifting or resistance training is another way that we can phrase this. 3 times a week should be the goal here. And there isn't a timeline attached to it because everyone moves at a slower pace when they are lifting. But doing resistance training 3 times a week and making sure that we are targeting all of our core or main muscle groups, those being chest, shoulders, back, core, legs, and hips. We should be exercising those at least 2 times a week, but 3 times a week in total. And I wrote here, 3 times 8 times 8. What does that mean? 3 exercises, 3 sets for 8 reps. So this should actually say 3 by 3 by 8.
3 sets for 8 what?
3 sets for 8 reps. So if you are doing push-ups, for example, 1 set would be doing 8 of them. Then we want to make sure that we are taking a 2-minute break in between. So I do my first set, I do my 8 push-ups, I take 2 minutes of rest. Once my 2 minutes are up, I do my next set. My 2 minutes again, into my next set. Now, the recommendation for the breathing when it comes to the resistance training is much more challenging to pinpoint because everyone's capacity for resistance training is going to look different. The main goal there is that we are getting in the appropriate amount of exercises, that we're training all of those core muscle groups at least 2 times a week, that we're having at least 3 sessions a week of going and doing some kind of resistance training. The more important thing there is making sure that we're doing the sets and the reps. That's what becomes more important with the resistance training. Now, I can flip to my next. Okay. of you who are sitting in this room are chiropractic patients. Some people newer to chiropractic, some people have been under chiropractic care for 30, 40 years. Tying all of this into your chiropractic care and why it is important to be doing both of them coinciding. We know if we are doing resistance training, if we're having a jog, if we're having a walk, playing tennis, our body needs to be removed of all subluxation. The nerves that are supplying our arms when we're doing push-ups, our legs when we're having a jog, our shoulders when we're playing tennis, those nerves need to be free and open. Complementing chiropractic care with your exercise program is very important. The analogy of just doing one thing and not seeing any changes, then you add something to it and it gets even better. The results that you all will get with your chiropractic care become that much stronger as you implement a Strong for Life program. And everyone's program is going to look different, of course, but adding that physical activity under those American College of Sports Medicine guidelines, all of that will be important to just help supplement that chiropractic care that you guys have all been under and will be under. Now, before we get into our demonstration, I want to tie all three of my main points that we've gone through back into it. First thing we talked about was how our muscles break down as we age, our bones break down as we age. Then next we led into how are we going to counteract that. We then went into what the American College of Sports Medicine has as their guidelines to counteract that as we are aging. The process of aging, it's inevitable. It is going to happen to every single one of us. It's important that we are doing what we can with our chiropractic care, with these guidelines that have been set out for us, so we can prevent these two things from going even quicker. Because the very first thing that I said to every person in here, 1 in 4, that amount of people over the age of 65, so 25%, are going to have a fall this year. That risk being as high as it is not good. We want to make sure that all of you are using your chiropractic care and your new Strong for Life program to be in the 3 out of 4, not in the 1 out of 4 that is falling. Now, before I take any questions, I want you all to pull out your demonstration sheet that we have here. And I'm going to need, Sarah, can you pass me that step stool right there? You can just put it right there. Thank you. And then, excuse me, Barbara, I'm going to grab just one chair here. Okay, we can see we have 5 exercises listed for you. All of these are, there's no weights, there's nothing involved. All of you can do these in the comfort of your own home. The act of going to a gym or going to a fitness class or a Pilates class, whatever class it might be, is very intimidating. I understand that going there is something that might deter people, whether they don't live close enough to one and they don't have the time, or it's just intimidating because they aren't sure what to do. The purpose of these 5 exercises, before you all leave, is that you should be comfortable doing them in the comfort of your own home. That you can have your husband, wife, kids, whoever watch you and make sure that you're doing it the right way after I confirm that. That way we can get it done in the comfort of our own home. It's much easier for us to wake up, walk downstairs, do it, as opposed to having to drive somewhere. Now, the very first exercise that I have here, sit to stand squats. You guys can see the 5 points that they have there listed for us. All this is exactly what it says. You stand with your feet about shoulder width in front of a chair. The main idea, we don't use our arms. We don't need our arms. We're sitting and we're standing back up. It is that simple. But even though it's simple, it needs to be done properly. I don't want to flail back into the chair and let my back ease into it.
Been there.
I want to control everything going down to where then I'm seated. You sit for 1, 2, and then right back up. We don't want to be using momentum when we're doing any of our exercises. The reason for that is we would then be losing the effect of what we should be doing. If I'm using momentum to get up and down, or if any of you here who have the arm swivel, when you use your arms, it's eliminating the purpose of this exercise being a sit to stand. Now, my next exercise, I have wall push-ups. Now, it is kind of busy in here, but I should be able to find a spot on the wall right here.
There we go.
When we are doing these, your goal should be your hands lined up with your chest. That if you just put your arms straight out, they're lined up there. You find a wall, you put your hands at that height, hands go into the wall, and you do a push-up. And then you hold it, and you do another one. With this exercise, we can see there, we want to repeat 10 to 15 times. The biggest thing here when we are doing this exercise, I mentioned with our sit to stand, we don't want to be rocking and using momentum. Same exact principle here. We do not want to be using momentum. I don't want to let my body go into it like that. We want to ease our bodies down and then slowly push our bodies up. All of these exercises that I'm going to give all of you today are meant to be that slow and controlled movement. The faster we do them, the less effect we will be getting, and the closer to that injury risk we are going to get. We are going to save plank for last. So my next one that we're going to talk about is going to be step-ups. Now, this is the one exercise out of all these that will be variable amongst all of you. Some people's step-up needs to just be 3 inches. Some people it could be 6, 12, etc. I have my stool here. I want to step up exactly like that with 1 foot, and I'm pushing through that 1 foot to then bring my other one up. Whatever foot we used to step up needs to be the one that we are stepping down with. So now we just have a consistent rhythm of I used my right leg first, now my left leg. We step straight up. Yet again, I am not using momentum. I'm not thrusting my body forward. We want to be going pressure through our foot and through our leg. As all of you try this at home, you should feel like the muscles in your quads are contracting. You should feel pressure on that as you push up and through. And same thing for when we go down. We don't want to rock back. As we're going down, we want to ease that leg into the same function. Now, an additional point with the step-ups that I wanted to mention to all of us. Tip, hold a railing or a wall for balance if needed. I understand that not everybody has perfect balance. Doing this, I want you guys to make sure you're either watching somebody or you have, even if it's just having a chair next to you, that you can hold on to and do it. Now, wall Y exercise. This is an exercise that I've probably recommended to half of the people in this room at some point, because I know this posture is unavoidable. It is in all of our lives, whether we're at the computer, whether we're at the cell phone. It's normal, it is expected. But adding this wall Y exercise can help us counteract that. I'm sure we all have days at work where you're on meetings all day, you can't get up from the computer. It is what it is. We need to be doing things on the other side to counteract that. Now, I'm going to use my whiteboard here as the wall, just so you guys all can see. My arms go up into a Y shape. We all know the YMCA dance. And once we are here, I don't want you to think about your thumbs. I want you to think about your shoulder blades. So, our shoulder blades, we want to be squeezing our shoulder blades together. I can see some of you doing it in the crowd. As we do it, watch. I don't know if you guys can see my shoulder blades through my shirt that well. Just like that. Then it relaxes. Just like that. On our sheet there, we have holding for 3 to 5 seconds. What that means, once we come together, we hold it. Then we relax. The main purpose with this exercise, why we do it against a wall. Doing it against a wall helps us from flailing our arms. It keeps us in control. And it's something that we can at least have some support with, that if you don't feel as comfortable doing it, you have something right in front of you to kind of catch yourself. Now, I had one more thing to mention on that. With the wall, why? Everything, or when you guys are doing this at the house, grab somebody else from the house. Have them put their hand right in between your shoulder blades. Having their hand right there, the thought should be, if I have something right in between my shoulder blades, so my wife's hand, for example.
Okay, I'm not your wife, but
Okay.
I'll give you my hand.
So Alex's hand is in the middle. I'm squeezing my scapula around her hand. Okay, thank you. It gives all of us, even if we don't have the capacity to actually squeeze it, it is a good cue for us to bring everything together. Now, my last exercise that I want to go over is plank or modified plank. Now, plank is the best exercise for us to work on our core muscles. A lot of people 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago were told that they should be doing sit-ups. They should be doing sit-ups. Sit-ups are a movement that are not as controlled. As I've mentioned, all of these, we want to be slow and controlled the entire time. Doing a plank, however, much more challenging than a sit-up. It is a better exercise overall because it's controlled the entire time. Now, on the diagram, the top picture is a regular plank and the bottom picture is a modified plank. I'm going to start in a modified plank and then go into a regular one. So, if I'm doing the modified plank, I'm on my knees. As we're doing this, it is important that all of you maintain a flat back. Someone should be able to just go right like that. So if I'm on my knees, my forearms are both on the ground. I don't want my back to lean in like that or to hunch out like that. My back should be stable. And then all we do once we're here in a plank, you sit there and you wait. You make sure that you're squeezing your core, that you're squeezing your glutes, that everything is tight so that way you maintain that flat back throughout. Now, transitioning that into a regular plank, the only thing that changes, my knees come off the ground. So when I'm here, my feet are still in the same position. That's all. I still want to maintain that flat back. I don't want to do that or do that. And same thing there. We want to just wait, really, as you guys are doing the planks. It says here, hold for 10 to 30 seconds. Hold for 10 seconds. Holding for 30 seconds is very challenging. This is an exercise that we need to kind of ease our way into because it's not as easy of one, but it's very important for our core strength.
So the last one, your hips were kind of elevated, is that okay?
As long as it's that, mostly your back is what's important, of keeping that back flat and your hips and your buttocks just in line with it. If they're elevated, that's okay. You just don't want them to dip is the biggest thing.
I have an additional question with that. What if you can't do that? I mean, I have scoliosis, my back, I've got a keyhole scoliosis or whatever. I cannot flatten it. Did you have any cues or tips to get the flat back?
Sure. For you, doing the modified plank is going to be much better.
Yes.
And then your thought process as you are, I will show you, when you're on your knees, even though you do have that scoliosis, your thought should be keeping your hips and your shoulders aligned, would be the best thought for you. We know that your spine is not going to be totally in a line, but if your hips and your shoulders are in a line, that would be the best. All right, before I open up for questions and anything else that you all want to add, I want to extend an invitation for all of you to join our Strong for Life program. Now, we're giving you all a handout of what this will look like. Everything that we went through today was the starting point. We were just itching the surface, scratching the surface of what there really is to learn about our Strong for Life program. As we do these, it is a 3-appointment plan. We do an initial consultation of 30 minutes. We do a follow-up consultation of 15 minutes, and then a final follow-up of 15 again. So 60 minutes total. That first half hour, I want all of you, when you sign up, to be ready to give me your goals. What can you not do that you want to do? Then I'm going to give you a plan, a Strong for Life program, or a plan. After that, we're going to follow up with that 15-minute appointment where we're going to go through everything. We're going to go through all of the exercises I have given you, make sure you're doing them the right way, make sure that I'm comfortable sending you home with them. Then in 2 to 3 weeks 2 to 3 weeks after, I'm going to follow up with all of you. Same exact thing, checking in, making sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and any modifications that need to be made will be made at that time. Now, with that, I want to thank all of you yet again for our first Strong for Life seminar. It has gone very well. I appreciate all of you for being here, and thank you again.
Yay.
And now, any questions that you all have? And I can sit now.
All right, I've been struggling with this for years. We've got resistance training, we've got the 3 different kinds of training. That can lead to 20 hours a week.
Okay?
How do you put the 3 together? You know, you're walking for 20 minutes, whatever, which is mild, then your next level, then your next level. You have to do each one of those so many days a week. You need a map, you need a whole, I can't put it together.
Now, you are overcomplicating it.
I am.
All you have to do is one of these.
Oh, okay, all right, got it.
You're overcomplicating
Got
it.
it. I was combining all 3.
No, there is not that much time in a week for us to be exercising, to be doing all of them. And I must not have been clear there. You're picking one. You can do all of them, sure, if you have a lot of time, but we're picking one or a combo of them. It does not need to be all of these together, okay? Thank you, that was a very good question, thank you. Yes, Rob?
So, I do certain physical therapy, and I'm wondering if it counts as resistance training.
Are the exercises that your physical therapist has given you to take home? More than likely, yes. More than likely they do. I don't, off the top of my head, I don't know exactly what they are, so I can't give you a yes or a no, but more than likely, yes, they are resistance training based.
Because it feels like it feels.
Like you're using your muscles throughout, then yeah, then it very well is. Yep. And that's something that, yet again, when you and I go through and do your first Strong for Life assessment, that's something that you would bring to me of, are these good, are these not good, should I be doing these or not doing these, okay? All right, does anybody, Colleen?
So the step, you can just do it on regular step?
Yeah, even
right.
the steps that go
Yeah, right.
upstairs in the house or downstairs in the house.
Yeah. Let me see, I have a question, oh yeah, the wall push-up, I've seen them where you can do them on counters, kitchen counters.
Sure, and that,
Bed anywhere.
as long as,
Well, when you're in the kitchen, you got a few minutes while the pot,
Right,
waiting for the
exactly.
pot to boil, you know?
yes, the main thing with those, so like you said, doing it on a countertop, that's fine.
Mhm.
We just wanna make sure that what I said about our arms being about chest height, that's the goal, and that our body's staying flat throughout. So yeah, if you're in the kitchen and you're waiting for something, in there is quite all right.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Alex. Thank you.
And by the way, I hate points. There's so many of them in
Most
my
people
life.
do.
I do too.
Oh, I despise those. Really do. Yeah. And also, I took step classes for years, step exercise classes,
Sure.
which was a lot of fun. Yeah, a lot of fun. Yeah. And I don't think they do them. I think that's essay that moves on to something else.
Sure,
Right? Yeah.
Zumba now.
yep,
They what?
It's Zumba.
Oh, yeah, Zumba's fun. Yeah, Zumba's fun. Doing aerobics for years. Same here, same here, I've done it for years and years.
All right, well, thank you all. With your Strong for Life appointments, whenever you guys come in for your adjustment, you can make it at the front, or you can call the girls and make that appointment, okay? Thank you all very much for coming.
Thank you.